My name is Bob Michell, Professor Michell, and my special subject is comparative medicine, and so that's the study of diseases that occur in humans and animals. What can you learn from the similarities and the differences? And it's not just about infections, although today is very largely about infections and particularly resistance to antibiotics. Perhaps I can follow the modern tradition of the good news and the bad news. The good news is the enthusiasm for greater collaboration between the medical fraternity and the veterinary fraternity, which has been brilliantly illustrated both by the speakers and the participants in the audience. This is all extremely encouraging and long overdue. But there is also the bad news, and fortunately some others have referred to it, and the bad news is really this. Vets tend to have an instinctive grasp of the importance of a comparative approach to disease because they learn about different species in their training, and they intuitively become fascinated by the difference in the look of the same disease in different animals, and there's a lot you can learn from that. Unfortunately, a lot of medics are almost special creationists. They take the view that the supreme creation was humans and that other species are irrelevant. That may sound a bit wild, but I'll give you a tragic example which is real and highly relevant to today's meeting. The World Health Organization identified the main life-saving advance, I'll emphasize that, the main life-saving advance of the 20th century as oral rehydration for acute diarrhea. Not an antibiotic, oral rehydration. So, can you put in a cut or an edit there?
Possibly, yep. Okay.
Okay, oral rehydration, not the use of an antibiotic. But of course, if you're going to use oral rehydration, it is essential that the oral rehydration solution is as effective as it possibly can be. There is in use for calf diarrhea, and calf diarrhea is an excellent model for cholera and therefore for the kind of diarrhea that occurs in refugee camps, in post-disaster settlements and so on. We're talking about very young calves which have a simple gut, like the human gut, nothing like the adult cow. Now this oral rehydration solution in calves improves the parameters, the measurements, which are potentially the most lethal in a patient suffering from diarrhea, 5 or 6 of them, in a way that the standard World Health Organization solution simply does not when used in a calf. And the assumption has to be that the same would be true in human patients. A group of us went to the World Health Organization in 2007, including the drug company that makes this solution for calves, to offer WHO a supply of the solution, a protocol for safety evaluation, and a protocol for efficacy evaluation, because it's awful to think that even today people from Médecins Sans Frontières may be conscientiously giving a medicine that is not as good as one that's available for farm animals in this country. WHO turned it down flat and gave no real explanation as to why. And I think this reflects the fact that for many medics still there is this instinctive feeling that what happens in animals is quite different to what would happen in humans. Whereas the truth is, animals in a variety of species provide excellent spontaneous models of human diseases, often far more accurate than the contrived models in laboratory animals, which A, are so controversial, and B, don't actually benefit the animals concerned. The advantage of this kind of approach, of course, is that the animals concerned in collaborative research get the benefit. So do the human patients. I think it's a matter of background. I think vets are naturally, intuitively open to the idea that there are useful similarities and differences in looking at diseases in different species. Medics tend to be focused very much on their own species, the human patient.